Hi guys, here we are today with Phoebe Dunbar. She's today's daily gem. We're going to get to know Phoebe a little bit better. I met Phoebe originally from the community garden which we're in right now, and going to get Phoebe to tell us a little bit about Phoebe. Who are you and what do you do here in Souk right now?
Gosh, right now. Well, should I answer the first question
Sure.
first? Who I am?
Yeah.
Well, my husband and I came to Souk in 1979, and our first involvement with the community was where we lived over in East Souk.
Okay.
And we lived there for 23 years, and we got involved in helping them make a fire hall and got involved in all kinds of activities that brought lots of enjoyment for families and people. And by being involved in East Souk, I got to know, probably in the 80s, quite a few of the groups and people over in Souk. But not right away, because in the beginning, we commuted into Victoria to work, so it was hard to get to know the community a little bit. But certainly by the mid-80s, we got to know it very well. And in 1987, I got to be the community school coordinator for the old Edward Milne Community School, which was the high school then.
Yes.
And that was a terrific job. It was bringing some energy back into that high school and opening up the doors and doing many different kinds of community ed, adult ed programs where we did programs and projects for all ages, but it was culture and the arts and maritime history and natural history, and it made the school a very lively place. But it also enabled me to get connected to a lot of wonderful people in Souk and some of the organizations. So that made it very easy to become involved in Souk because we got to know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we got to know all about that volunteer ethic.
And you're putting yourself and your enthusiasm into the place, and people recognized that and said, we want Phoebe to do, well, they embraced you anyway, and you embraced them. And you've done a lot of things since then, as well as the school is where you got your start. How many years have you been in Souk so far?
Souk proper?
Sure.
Or like the area?
Yeah.
Well, we lived here in 79, so I would say more than half of my life now has been living in Souk.
Yeah.
And living in the Souk area, that is, and being involved with all kinds of projects and programs. And then since 2001, we've actually lived in Souk. We moved across the harbor, and that's made it easier to get involved.
Yep.
And for us, the definition of the community usually is determined by the people and how people interact with each other, and what people do and to enrich their life and not the lives of others.
Yeah.
So we've always been involved in something.
Great. And
That takes us out of our sort of sense of self. It's really very rewarding.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I've branched out a bit with the videos here and get to know everybody, and everyone seems also have like they all want to be doing something. You started off as I don't know if you're also a bit of an artist. People know your woodwork a little bit.
That's right. Yeah.
I've seen little bowls and things like that made out of knots.
Made out of burls.
Burls.
Yeah, burls. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you asked me at the beginning, like, I think you asked me, who am I?
Yeah.
Is that what you asked?
Well, that's being transmuted
Oh, okay.
all of this here.
I think by living in a very interesting place like Souk, it has allowed you to embrace lots of different opportunities. And so eventually that starts to define who you are. But you're right about the wood artist. There was a time in the mid-2000s that I had to take some time out because I'd hiked too much and I needed knee replacement. So that particular time out, we built a carving shed, and I started to carve and enjoy it immensely. I don't do it all the time, but it's very much a part of now who I am, and it's something when I get really busy, because I retired in '98, so we've got quite busy since we've retired. It's a wonderful time to do something creative and be centered, and it's an incredible art to be involved in. It's all about the reverence for wood. I could go on and talk about wood art, but anyway.
I wear a little bit of wood on myself. I just really feel I understand that.
Oh yeah.
Feels great, doesn't it? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we've always liked gardening, and became involved in the food security movement out here in Souk in the year 2007, and that's the Souk Food Chi Group.
Yep.
And that's how this garden got started.
Right.
We started to plant it in the year 2009. So I think probably a lot of the definition of who I am is defined by the variety of interests that I have. You know, it's art, it's culture, it's music, it's wood, it's hiking, it's natural history. I used to do a lot of paddling and boating, not so much anymore, but that was really a part of growing up here on the West Coast. So that's a huge part of being in Souk. The early days being on the ocean all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess too, it's well, you're defined by activities and your interests and
Yeah.
yeah.
And the
Have
way
I said enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way you present it is with enthusiasm, and that's why I think people love that as well.
I think so. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're so childlike. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So, if you had a piece of advice to share with everybody, something, a piece of wisdom over your years that you've sort of helped you, maybe something.
Does it say something?
Sure. You said a little bit about getting to know rather than working with yourself, getting to know the community, branching out.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess some of the people that we've met in Souk, I think some of the biggest lessons we've learned is accepting what is, and we always try and apply that to projects. So, you know, you don't go beyond your resources, and where you can't influence or do something, that's okay. Forget it. Like, you know, defer. Don't let that bother you. And I think that makes for you to be a more grounded, happier person.
Beautiful.
And certainly, like I'm now in my early 70s, certainly if I can accept more what is and take time to lead a very balanced life, because most of my days are quite balanced, of things that I perhaps ought to do, like the chores, but a lot of that can be put off until tomorrow. But it's like making choices of where you wish to put out some energy, and then don't feel so compelled or driven anymore, like you gotta do a ton of stuff. Like this garden would be a really good example. Just year by year we've done a little bit, and right now we've all slowed down about the garden, because the garden will take on its own life, and there will always be people here to sustain it. So I think what I've learned is sometimes now when it's okay to pull back and let others get involved.
Yeah.
Those are big lessons for me. Let go.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. So Phoebe says, learn to what is, let go. It's more grounding, and just be, you know, one of those things. And
Yeah.
Don't go beyond your resources and relax.
It's true. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing about yourself. If you had someone to nominate as the next Daily Gem, who would you like to nominate?
Well, this person probably wouldn't like it if I nominated him, but this morning I've been working this last week too with a wonderful person who rarely wants to have the light shine on her, because maybe it puts a shadow on somebody else. But she, her name is Sandy Reber, and we're just getting ready and putting all the pieces together for a big Apple Fest down here late in September. And Sandy is just this incredible resource that works so tirelessly for so many groups in Souk, including the Fall Fair. And she's a graphic artist and a designer, and she's just a very, very generous person. And once again, she's stepped up to help us with all the promotion for the Apple Fest. And I thought this morning, should you ask this question, I'm going to nominate Sandy Reber. And she just lives just a stone's throw across the river over here.
Okay.
She lives over on Souk River Road.
Great.
But she's an amazing person, and she's somebody who never seeks credit, and she does all this wonderful work behind the scenes. It's Sandy.
Okay, Sandy, we're going to get a chance to talk to you
Yeah.
a little bit later. Thanks. And just to let you know, just for being a Daily Gem, Dave from the Stick in the Mud is going to give you a free Vicino coffee from the new Speed Stick.
No.
Yes.
Hey, that's a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I better get up there.
So,
Anyway,
thanks,
thank
Phoebe.
you, Jarvis.
You are a gem.
Yeah, thank you very much.